I think that people should stop assuming that producers are going to carry the load
Forever.
that is growing coffee.
They have been carrying the load.
They have been.
And they have been subsidizing this industry for a long, long time.
Map It Forward Business Mastermind groups are back for 2024. And if past mastermind groups are anything to go by, you absolutely want to be a part of this if you're a business owner ready for change. Spots are limited to 10 people per group. And if you own a business in the coffee sector and are looking for support in a nurturing and focused group coaching environment, this could be the thing that helps you through these challenging times in coffee and jumpstarts your planning for 2025. There are 3 mastermind groups, each with a different business focus. I will be your coach, and the first one will be focused on strategic business planning, the second one on business growth, and the third on increasing your sales in coffee, both B2B and B2C. Groups start the week commencing October 7, and prices start at $189 per month for 3 months. You get a discount if you pay all 3 months in advance. Previous participants found these groups life-changing for their business, and all groups come with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're interested in finding out more or registering, head to mapitforward.coffee/group coaching or check the links in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is unfortunately the final episode of this 5-part series with Camila Khalife. Camila, we are talking about where the privilege in coffee is. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the assumptions that people make and you would like them to stop making about coffee producers. Tell us what some of those assumptions are.
All of them. I'm against all kinds of assumptions. I am pro asking questions.
Okay, so what are some
research.
examples?
Well, if you've been listening to the previous episodes, for example, assuming what producers need, right?
Okay.
Or assuming that all producers have the same need.
Mm-hmm.
I feel when we do that, when we start assuming about an individual or a particular group of people, we are kind of objectifying them,
Okay.
dehumanizing them. We are missing an opportunity to learn too. I think it's the world is full of assumptions. And I have learned that when you start asking questions, start listening, like you have been doing for the past 2 hours.
I've done a lot of talking too. Let's not be that generous.
Okay. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's basically stop assuming. I feel we all the time we think we know what other people want, what other people need, what other people enjoy. And I think it's time for us to ask more questions, to take the time to know the specificity of whatever situation we want to address, we want to be involved with,
Tell me, your Instagram addresses a lot of things, and I think a lot of these assumptions are things that you address on your Instagram. Am I correct?
Yes, many times, even people who are kind of advocating, for producers or for producing communities, I feel that advocacy comes from assumptions.
Can you give us an example?
I don't know if I have one specific thing, but if we can go back, what producers need is to be empowered, Okay. It's like, or producers need to learn how to process coffee better. producers, what we need to do is to teach them how to dry coffee, whatever. It's like generalizations and assumptions all the time.
It's entitlement.
100%. I am entitled to know what the rest need. I am entitled to decide what to do about it.
Mm.
I am entitled to everything. Crazy. I know sometimes what I write, what I post about, it's like many times it's tied to communication, to the words we use.
That's your thing, right? Like that's what you're a specialist at.
So many times I read something and I can feel something is not right. And many times it's about the wording, it's about how things are said and how we refer to people, to places. And many times I say, let's stop saying this. Let's stop using the word empowerment. This week I was talking about exotic. I was called exotic.
Oh, I saw that on your Instagram.
My country was called exotic. So, and every time I say we should change the way we say things, it's like, let's stop using this word. I think 100% of the time I have someone saying, well, that's not what I meant. Or
right,
that was not my intention. People all the time think I come from a bad faith position to criticize. It's like you're seeing evil where there was no evil intended.
Right.
Many times it's like, yeah, I use that word when, for example, people say our producers. I want to when people use a possessive pronoun to talk about people, other people, it bugs me. It's like we can refer to them in a different way because we don't possess them, or we shouldn't. But systemically and historically, yes, this group of people has possessed this other group of people. So when now in 2024 you hear someone say my producer,
but it can also be a term of endearment, right? Like it's a way of showing affection. It's a way of saying that this is someone who, like when I say my clients, I don't say my clients, and I'm not defending myself or anything here, folks. For those of you like, oh, Lee's got all defensive. I'm not being defensive. But I refer to people the same way as like I do that out of a tone of affection, right?
Yes, I think it's completely okay when the relationship is equal or is balanced. I think it's okay.
Yep.
If we are calling my producer to someone who you somehow own because you are not paying enough, because you are controlling the situation, you are in full control of price, of the payments, of everything, and I'm thinking macro, I'm not thinking like literally owning that person, but
right.
So these little details. So when someone called my whole country exotic, it's like, I don't know what they were trying to mean. I think I can imagine, but the implications or the impact it has is no longer part of the intention.
Right.
So I think it's important to detach what we were trying to say or what we were, it was not my intention. Yeah, it doesn't matter. What the impact is detached from the intention. So I think it's important to pay attention to words, to how we refer to people, and to stop assuming what these people, including me, coffee professionals from producing regions want, need, or will benefit from, or are affected by. Many times people approach me to know what producers need or what's, I don't know. I am not a coffee producer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it's like she's Ecuadorian. She not know. That's the assumption.
You represent all of your exotic people.
Exactly. That's exactly how people see me or see us. We are all part of the same mass.
Somehow I'm now the representative for all of Dubai coffee.
Exactly. So you know what I mean when people assume that everyone is like me or that everyone thinks like me. And I try to be very careful when I talk about what I think. It's what I think.
Mm.
And you may agree or you may disagree. And I am not talking on behalf of every producing country or every like that. It's me.
Yeah, you're a communications professional that's talking.
And in my individuality, and this is me, and every person has a right to their own voice, and we can agree on many things. And I do think that if I'm expressing my thoughts, I can be expressing what other people are thinking. And it resonates with many people. And many, many times people tell me, thank you for saying this. I've been thinking about it and I was not able to put it into words. Or that's how it works. That's how we relate to one another. But let's not assume that we all think the same. Let's not assume that again, it's like that we are not capable of being individuals, basically, it's like,
yeah.
When people talk, sorry, when we're thinking, like the other side of saying like, all these people are like this. One thing that is very common is like assuming every coffee producer is like a hero, when they put it in, when they glorify coffee producing, the coffee producing activity, they kind of, and it's like, no, they are coffee producers. They are amazing. Because they are doing this hero job, because nowadays it's heroic to try to survive by growing coffee. Okay, that's one thing. But then all that comes with it. So you're a coffee producer. So by default, you are a good person. You are a person with needs for education, for this, for that. So they put everyone in the same bag. And I hate that. And in the same way, to the other side, not every roaster is like this. Not every importer is like this. So maybe too many.
Right. I think if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is that people need to start having more conversations with producers to find out what their individual reality is, rather than assumptions on what all producers are. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And that takes an effort. That takes an effort because they come from different backgrounds, different realities, different languages, different ways of doing things. And we should be open to learn more from those ways instead of just staying where we are comfortable. Many times people say, I know many producers. Which producers do you know? The ones that travel to Expo. The ones that can access a visa, the ones that speak English. Those are the ones that you are meeting, right? Do they represent all producers? Do they represent the needs of all the producers of their country or the region? No. So we can agree there are, of course, systemic needs and systemic issues that need to be addressed. And we don't need to go door by door asking. That's not what I'm saying. Of course, there are global issues that need to be addressed, and that we can agree that Africa and Latin America can share the same challenges in some ways, but
not all the ways.
not all the ways. Exactly. And let's not forget that we are talking about people.
I'll tell
human
you
beings.
an assumption that I want people to stop making about producers. And that is that producers are going to consider that coffee is going to be something that they want to keep doing. I think that people should stop assuming that producers are going to carry the load
Forever.
that is growing coffee.
Because they have been carrying the load.
They have been.
And they have been subsidizing this industry for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think you are correct. I've been in positions of like buying coffee, for example, and there are customers that have been buying a coffee from a particular producer for the past 4 years. And then I went there and I wanted to buy their coffee for that customer. And they were like, no, sorry, I'm not producing coffee anymore. Yeah. You know? And they're like, what? But we know that coffee. It's like, yeah, but maybe you were not paying enough. So they needed to change activities. And there's nothing you can do or say that will make them change their mind, because they are human beings that are making decisions because they are capable of making decisions. You are not controlling their lives anymore. So they are that's exactly what agency and ownership is. So I own my decisions. And for me, it's basically, let's stop objectifying people from producing regions and know that we are talking about people with brains and the same skills and capacity as.
And people, they want to be happy and they want to be fulfilled. And
they have their own goals. They have their own taste. They have their own, the music they enjoy. They are people. So it's very easy to forget about that in the conversations that we usually build in from a very privileged position, you know. We get together in Houston to talk in English about what these people need.
And I think what's going to happen is that people are going to see more and more as the climate impacts how viable coffee is for producers. Producers are battling so many more forces these days than just price. There's temperature and climate and water and all of these things that are making it a much easier decision for a coffee producer to say, you know what, the juice is not worth the squeeze. I'm better off growing broccoli and not having to meet the people on the consuming end and just living a much better life. It's just going to be easier. Or selling their land.
Or roasting their coffee.
Yep.
And selling it roasted. You know, it's like there are more and more producers
roasting at origin. Yep.
And
we can only hope that there's a market that they can sell into. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, the consuming end of the industry that isn't at origin has a very tiny window left to show producers the respect that they deserve. Because the people who have shown producers the respect that they deserve, they are going to navigate this crisis hand in hand with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they will survive this crisis. And I've spoken to producers who have turned around and said, my yield has gone down significantly this year, and it is going to continue to go down significantly because of what's happened in the next year. I will prioritize the people, the buyers, who we have walked step and step together over the last few years. They are the people who I'm prioritizing when I do have coffee to sell. And those relationships and those efforts and that respect, more than anything, it's that respect that will pay dividends. It's a balanced business relationship that has dignity in it. And now, if you didn't invest in the dignity of the relationships that you've had, this is when you're going to see what that's cost you.
Exactly. Yes, I couldn't agree more.
And so, on that note, this is our first time doing this. I hope you'll come back. I hope I've invested in the dignity of our relationship. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere in real life. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
No, first, thank you so much for the invitation. I've enjoyed this conversation a lot. The on camera and off camera has been amazing.
Thank you.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram in Con Cara de Café,
where she causes a lot of shit. It's all good trouble, I promise. It's all good trouble.
And also at Girls Planning Coffee. We didn't get to talk a lot about Girls Planning, but you can go there.
Please make sure that you check out Girls Planning. It's a wonderful initiative. So we'll have links in the show notes. And please, it's worth your time to go and check this out. Camila, this has been fantastic. Will you do me the honor by signing off the series for us?
Sure. So peace, love, and peanut butter.
Have an amazing rest of your day, everyone.
Much.
Bye. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward.